Hello, everyone, and welcome to another video of the Red Dawn. My name is Kiri, and today I'm going to be doing a match reaction of the game against Burnley and also some player ratings. Liverpool win 1-0. We are 3 points clear on top of the Premier League. That's 4 straight wins now, and gee whiz, another last-minute winner. How many times are we going to bloody do it? Like, it's another game we've left it late. We just can't keep getting away with it. I mean, look, we deserve the win. We were the better side all day, and we did really well against the low block from Burnley. No matter what manager they get, they always play the same bloody way. They'll never change. But let's be real. It wasn't the prettiest win. Couldn't find the back of the net all day. And it all came down to a decisive penalty in the last minute by Mohamed Salah, the great man, which we will talk about later on in our player ratings as well. Ryan Gravenberch, absolutely outstanding in the midfield. I thought he was class. Florian Wirtz got better and better as the game went on. Van Dijk and Kanate back into their best down back. Milos Kerkez, well, what can we say? Obviously, went off early with that dive. I think he's got a long way to go. If he wants to keep that spot in the left back position, but we will go into that into our player ratings. So if I get to my my screen here, and we'll just dive straight into it. Okay. All right, starting off with our goalkeeper, Allison. Well, he didn't do too much today. Just another quiet day in the office for him. I can't remember if he made a save, to be frank, but when he had the ball, he didn't do anything wrong with his distribution. At the end of the day, he got the clean sheet, and that's all what that matters for him. So therefore, he gets a 6 out of 10. Dominic Soboslai started in right back, and then he moved into the midfield for the second half. Look, we know how good his versatility is for the last few weeks, how phenomenal he was in the Arsenal game. And again, he showcased that for this one, even though he did not score. He always contributes to the attack, and he looked dangerous with his crossing and his shooting ability. Yeah, would have been amazing if he opened the scoring with his fierce long-range strike, which he always loves doing. But a solid shift, nevertheless, from Soboslai. He gets a 7 out of 10. Ibrahima Kanate, much better from him. Back to the Kanate we all know and love. He was brilliant against Arsenal last week, and he backed up that performance in this match. We all know what's happening off the field, speculation of his future with the club, but it's great to see him put that aside and focus on what he's supposed to be doing, and that's to play football. Contributed to the attack. He looked dangerous with his crossing. Oh, sorry, he was strong aerially. I'm reading Soboslai's notes. Goodness gracious me. Apologies, folks. Look, Kanate was strong aerially. His pace was important. And when Burnley went on the counter attack, yeah, he was just important. It was a rare occurrence from Burnley to when they looked at threatening up goal, but when we needed him the most, he stood up. And I've got to get my hats off to Kanate. Much better performance from him, and we want to see more of that. He gets a 7 out of 10 for me. Virgil van Dijk, our captain. He was solid. Absolute colossus in our back four. He gave Lyle Foster an absolute bath. It was a classic Virgil van Dijk performance. However, However, it was an almost perfect performance from Virgil van Dijk. And why I say that, I'm a bit nitpicky here. There was a sloppy pass from him early in the game, which allowed Burnley to bolster straight up forward. And I was a bit scared there. But overall, no complaints from him whatsoever. He gets himself in the right position as he always does. And his one on one ability stood out. Um, so well done to our captain. He gets a 7 out of 10 as well. Milos Kerkez. Not his best performance. And if we're being completely honest, not a convincing start to his Liverpool career. He got booked for diving inside the box, and after 37 minutes, he was taken off, and rightfully so. I thought it was the right call at the end of the day. The likelihood for him getting a second yellow was far too great for the slot to keep him in. Um, Look, I think he's got a lot of maturing to do, and he needs to display a better football brain when you get in these high pressure situations. He gets a 4 out of 10 for me, and I hope this is a learning experience from him. Ryan Gravenberg, absolutely class. He was our best midfielder on the pitch. I absolutely love this man. He was great in the tight areas, very accurate at passing, and he just created the most chances with four. We love Ryan. He's a lovely footballer to watch. He gets an 8 out of 10 for me, and also he's my man of the match for this game. Alexis McAllister, he's another man I love, and I'll be frank, I was surprised he actually started. I didn't have him starting in my starting 11 prediction, and because I thought he's coming back from international duties, probably gets a minute in the legs in the second half. So I was generally surprised he was actually starting, and I could see why Slot put him on. He looked composed when he had the ball, but far from his best. I still think he's off the pace, and unfortunately, he was on the receiving end of a nasty tackle by Ukachuku. I think that's what his name was. Yeah, it was a disgusting tackle, and sadly, he wasn't seen again after half time. And how was that? How that was not a red card, I do not know. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. He got sent off later on. So McAllister, he gets a 5 out of 10. Nothing to reflect on the player that he is. He's absolute champion of the club, but I think there are better days ahead. Florian Wirtz, he was quiet in the first half, but he got better in the second. He got some nice touches and he tried to make things happen. He forced the Burnley keeper Dubrovka into a rare save, which was unbelievable. I thought he would absolutely hammer it in the back of the net there. Yeah, I mean, look. While this wasn't a performance to leave headlines on the paper, I thought this was a promising performance from Florian Wirtz. He showed flashes of brilliance, and again, let's keep persisting with the young man because once he adapts to the speed and the physicality of the Prem, he's going to be a problem for defenders. So for Florian Wirtz, he gets a 6 out of 10 for me, but onwards and upwards. Mohamed Salah, the great man, his penalty, unbelievable. Absolutely wrapped for Mo. I'll be honest, I was worried. I was absolutely worried in the lead up to the penalty. Given his latest penalties he's had as on recent time, the Community Shield final. I think the game against there was definitely a game sometime in this year he missed a penalty as well, but he hasn't been converting them lately. But once he buried that in, I was just absolutely relieved. It was a stoppage time penalty to get us over the line. But, however, let's not sugarcoat it. It was a poor performance from him. Far from his best. I am concerned with his general lack of threat of attack. He was barely sighted all day. I just couldn't remember him getting the ball only 2 or 3 times. I don't know if he's still adjusting to the tweak system with Verts in the attack or what's happening off the field, losing his dear mate in Diogo Jota, rest in peace. But I am backing Mo to turn it around. Knowing him, he'll be back to his best football really soon. He's an absolute champion of the club, and when we needed him the most, he stood up. So, with that being said, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. 6 for the Egyptian King. Cody Gakpo. I'm unsure with this one because he wasn't awful, but I thought it wasn't his best performance. Look, he got the better of Cody Walker. He put on some half decent crosses from the left and had some good moments cutting inside, which he's known with as well. But he was lacking that end product. And I'm a bit worried when you've got competition with, Ekatike to come on the left once we bring Isaac in. Then you've got Rio Enganoa on the bench as well. I don't know if Chiesa could play on the left, but he could certainly play out wide as well. But yeah, I don't know. I thought a disappointing performance from Gakpo. Certainly not his worst, but I've seen better performances from him. He gets a 5. Hugo Ekatike showed some good touches with the ball, but he was a rare up front. Tough day in the office for him. In all fairness, he didn't get the service he would like, but was subbed off after 71 minutes. Better days ahead for him as well. He gets a 5 out of 10. Right, moving up to the subs. Robbo. Oh, Andy Robertson. So, yeah, Robbo, he looked sharp when he came on. He could have scored within the minute he came off the bench, hit the target straight after, and let's be real, he was certainly more controlled than Kirkes. Absolutely love Robbo, and there's a big reason why we are keeping him for depth. And we know that he'll get the job done on the left-hand side, and he certainly did that. He gets a 7 out of 10. Connor Bradley, great to see this man back on. Great inclusion after half-time. He looked absolutely lively. His willingness to get forward and break lines from deep was something we missed from the right back position. So, well done, Connor. You get a 6 out of 10. Federico Chiesa came on for Ekatike and he just headed it just wide seconds after coming off the bench. Nothing after that. But again, another option, another player trusted more by Slot in the new season. Yeah, good cameo from Chiesa, nevertheless. 6 out of 10. Jeremy Frimpong, impactful cameo off the bench, won a penalty in the last minute with a cross from the right. He tested the goalie beforehand as well, but he did what he had to do. That was to win the penalty and to win us the game. So with that being said, he gets a 7 out of 10. Welcome back, Jeremy Frimpong. Ria Enganoa looked lively in his short cameo. I would have liked to see him a lot earlier, but he got Burnley on the back foot. Promising signs from the youngster, and very excited to see his career blossom at Liverpool Football Club. Well done, young man. You get a 6 out of 10. Now, finally, the manager, Arne Slot. If I'm being honest, not his best output today. I thought his decision not to put Alexander Isak in the squad was questionable. And I thought it would totally backfire. especially after half time, given how bland our attack was. I just felt like I was watching the Crystal Palace game at Anfield last season. And if we weren't careful, probably would lose by a dodgy goal, 1-0. Nevertheless, he would have felt disappointed in yesterday's performance, but he just needs to find different ways if we're not finding the ball at the back of the net. As said earlier, it's another game we've left it in the last minute, and we just can't keep getting away with it. We deserve the win, don't get me wrong, but we've got a lot of work to do. Spent all this money to strengthen the squad, and I'm sure it will click in. And when it does, it's going to be champagne football. And I would have liked to seen more changes at halftime. Gakpo off, maybe push Verts on the left to get him more involved, or try Rio to see what he could do in a half of Premier League football, in a full half, not just 10 minutes. And if not, maybe 20 minutes. But that's all to be seen. For a rating, Arna gets a 6 out of 10. Yeah, but that's it, guys. That's the player ratings for the match between Liverpool. What are your thoughts? Put your ratings down below, and if you enjoyed this video, give a like and subscribe. Our next game will be against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, back at home at Anfield. I'll be doing a starting 11 and preview. Maybe tomorrow, but if not, certainly Wednesday, because I know kickoff is on that Thursday morning, 4:30, from sleepy old Adelaide. All right, well, thanks for watching, and you'll never walk alone.